What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we have my 3 favorite free picks for college football Saturday championship game weekend. Man, there's been some games going on Friday night for college football as well. We got a great slate for Saturday tomorrow as well. But before we hop into my favorite 3 picks for today, let's do a quick recap of NBA Friday. All right, guys, we've hit Julian Phillips under PRA. We were right on that. I should have made that my free play, but it's kind of weird making unders your free play against someone who doesn't really play a ton of minutes. But anyway, that went under. Nickeil Alexander-Walker went over his 23.5 points line. I think he went for like 31 points. He played a great game. Now, for our other 2 picks, PJ Washington actually didn't play in the game Friday, so we took his rebounds over 6.5, so he's not playing, so that pick is going to be voided. And then Anthony Davis. So the Mavericks are playing the Thunder in this game. Very low scoring first half. The game's still going on right now as I'm recording this. I think both teams have like less than 50 points, like almost going into halftime. So just a ton of defense, not a lot of scoring. Anthony Davis has only taken 1 shot and he missed. He has 3 rebounds. We took his points plus rebounds over 32.5. So not looking great there for our favorite free play of the day. But maybe it's a tale of 2 halves. Maybe Anthony Davis goes off in the second half, but we'll see. So likely going to be 2-on-1 on the day as of Friday, but we're heading into college football Saturday. Man, I've been loving college football this season. I feel like every year I get into college football, the more I watch, the more I get into it, the more invested I get, especially with like NIL and the transfer portal. It's been crazy with the coaches going on. Matt Campbell just got hired at Penn State after like 50 days of like absolute debacle. They fired James Franklin. Now they're scrambling for a new head coach. But anyways, let's get off that tangent. Let's get into these picks for college football Saturday, guys, and I'm taking these picks on Betr, all right? New users will get a free $10 and up to $200 bonus on your first deposit just for signing up. So all you guys have to do is sign up. Better's going to give you free $10. You don't even have to deposit. But if you do want to deposit, they're going to give you up to $200 bonus when you do deposit. So get on that, all right? Use my code TEACH10 on Betr when you sign up. And Better's also going to give you a free square. They're going to give you a Devalishvili. I botched this last name last night too, but they're giving this pick again for Saturday night. All right, so get on that before. So if you don't like one of my picks or you want to add this pick on to boost your multiplier, go ahead and do it. Better's giving you a ton of free value on this, all right? So let's go ahead and get into our favorite 3 picks of the day. Scrolling down here. All right. This is my favorite free play of the night for college football Saturday. All right, we're going Carnell Tate over 69.5 receiving yards, a receiver out of Ohio State. Here's what I like about this play. All right, Carnell Tate's only hit this in 5 out of his last 10 games, sure. But if you look over his last 7 games, he's hit this in 5 out of his last 7. And typically when Carnell Tate goes over this line, he goes over like pretty easy. Look at this: 101, 183, 111, 124, and 82. Absolutely electric. I know everyone talks about, well, Jeremiah Smith's the guy. He's the number 1 guy. Sure, and he probably gets a lot more attention. He gets doubled a little bit more. They pay more attention to him. But Carnell Tate has been just as electric as Jeremiah Smith this season, and Julian Saint's been absolutely incredible as well. Now you're probably thinking, oh, well, Indiana is also a really great team, in this Big Ten championship game. Sure, they're 14th in the league and giving up only 172 receiving yards allowed. I get it. But if you look at the last game, Ohio State played Michigan, huge rivalry game, as we all know in college football. Michigan's a decent team against receiving yards allowed. They are a pretty good defensive team, just like a lot of the Big Ten teams as well. But Carnell Tate's been taking a lot of attention away from Jeremiah Smith, or should I say really the opposite, actually. Jeremiah Smith has been taking a ton of attention away, and people are forgetting about Carnell Tate, man. This dude is absolutely electric. He makes big plays down the field. Julian Saint is always looking for him. Him and Jeremiah Smith, he's looking for both of these guys downfield. Carnell Tate has been absolutely awesome, making some big-time catches. You just go watch a lot of the recent games. Feels like almost every game, Carnell Tate has like a catch for at least like 30 or 40 yards downfield. And if we get that again in this game, he's definitely going over, right? Look at this down here. First of all, in these last 10 games, he's averaging almost 83 receiving yards per game. So we love that. That's over this line. right? If we look at these receptions, look at the last 5 games specifically, right? 10 targets, 9 receptions. 7 targets, 4 receptions. 7 targets, 6 receptions. 5 targets, 5 receptions. 7 targets, 5 receptions. So he's getting targeted a lot. Actually, let's filter this. Sorry. Look at this. He's getting targeted a lot, getting over 7 targets per game, and he's getting almost 6 catches per game, almost an 81% catch-to-target ratio. That's really, really good. It means Cardinal Tate is getting open, he's finding space, and Julian Sain is finding him. And guys, Cardinal Tate is absolutely electric after the catch. And look at his average yards per reception. Over 18 yards per reception on the season in these last 5 games. Absolutely incredible. I'm telling you, Cardinal Tate is electric. We just got to have, he literally could just get this on 2 catches, right? If he gets 2 big plays, we could go over on this line. But he's catching almost 6 balls a game. So if we're getting pretty much 6 catches a game on like 7 targets, maybe 8 targets, he's absolutely going over this line. I don't care if it's Indiana against a really good team. Cardinal Tate has proven that he can play well, especially recently against really good teams, especially in the Big Ten as well. So I absolutely love Cardinal Tate to go over this receiving prop line against Indiana in the Big Ten championship, all right? Now, for my second pick, we're going to stick in this game as well, and we're going to stick with Ohio State too. We're going with Big Bo Jackson over 72.5 receiving yards, all right? Probably like, dude, you're taking both like star Ohio State players to go over their prop line. Yeah, sure, it might seem a little bit chalk, but I mean, if you've been watching Ohio State, they've been decimating every team. Indiana's had some spots where they've kind of looked maybe a little bit vulnerable, but still absolutely, like, definitely very good, deservingly a top 4 team in this college football season. But look at Bo Jackson, man. On the season, he's hit this rushing yard prop in 8 of 11 games, 73% clip. And at the last 10 games, 70%, 7 out of his last 10. He's hit this actually in 5 of his last 5 games. Look at this. Gone over 100 rushing yards in 4 of those 5 games as well. All right, look at this. Against Penn State, against UCLA, Rutgers, and then against Michigan, who is a 13th ranked rushing defense in the league in all of college football. And he went for the most yards in those 5 games too. All right, and that was a statement win for Ohio State, getting back on the right side of that rivalry. Now, you're looking like, well, Indiana's the second best rushing defense in the league. Sure, I get it. Yeah, you're probably like, okay, that's kind of contradictory. Sure. But Bo, again, like Cardinal Tate has proven against good teams he can do well, Bo Jackson is the same way. And I guarantee you, I mean, this is a staple of the Big Ten, is being able to run the football and run it very well, especially against your opponents within the conference as well. Bo Jackson is going to go over the 72.5 rushing yard prop. All right, he's an absolute beast. Look, in these last 10 games, he's averaging over 84 rushing yards per game. Dude is a workhorse. I mean, scroll down here. Look at this. A little over 14 rushing attempts per game, but look at the last 5 games. All right, 13 rushing attempts, 14 rushing attempts, 15 rushing attempts, 19 rushing attempts, 22 rushing attempts. They are starting to rely a little bit more heavily on the run, and they can do that when they get up early in the game after they pass the ball to Cardinal Tate and get those yards. Once they get up early, they can just run the clock out and just slowly but surely milk the clock out and run the football so well. It's honestly very impressive. And look at this. Bo Jackson's averaging just over 6 rush yards per attempt. That's absolutely crazy. I don't care what skill level you're playing at, whether it's college or NFL. That is absolutely insane. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, he's doing this with, like, some of these games earlier in the season. Like, he's, like, maybe getting 10 rushing attempts, a little bit over. But, I mean, look at this. As of recently, he's just getting the ball more and more every game. The Ohio State rushing attack is just coming together at the right time heading into the playoff. I think Ohio State looks to make a very, very big statement win against Indiana like they did against Michigan last week. I do not think this is a letdown spot after the game last week. Obviously, Ohio State still gets into the playoff regardless of the outcome of this game. Even if they were to get, like, blown out by Indiana, they're still in. Whatever. Doesn't even matter. Bo Jackson is going over this line, 72.5 rushing yards. All right. Now, guys, before we get into our final pick of the day, all right, if you don't want to take my picks on Betr, you guys can take them on the Chalkboard as well. Same promo code, TEACH10, all right, on Chalkboard. New users will get a 100% deposit match up to $100 bonus cash. But Chalkboard also gives you like free daily drops where they'll give you like a 10% boost here, or 10% NBA boost, or 25% boost, or 50% boost, 30% boost. They give you that every single day, so be on the lookout for that. Chalkboard's giving you a ton of value as well, along with Betr. Both my promo codes for Chalkboard and Betr will be in the link to the description of this video as well. It'll also be in the pinned comment as well. You guys can check that out, all right? Now, let's head into this last pick here. All right, to round us out for our third pick. There's not a ton of college football games this weekend because it's championship weekend, so not every team's playing. But my final pick is Gunnar Stockton, Georgia quarterback, under 33.5 rushing yards. Here's what I like about this, all right? He's gone under this line in 6 out of his last 10 games, averaging almost 32 rushing yards per game, so just under the line where it's set at for this game here. This Alabama defense is 36th in the league, giving up 124 rushing yards per game. Guarantee you most of those are giving up to running backs, obviously. Quarterbacks aren't just running willy-nilly on them like that, all right? Now, if we look here, we scroll all the way down. That's what I found interesting. All right. Look at the last few quarterbacks. Okay. Ashton Daniels ran way over on this Alabama defense. All right. But that's the Iron Bowl rivalry game. Alabama was looking to defend in a different way. Ashton Daniels was having to scramble all over the place. Alabama was getting to him. He's having to run outside the pocket. Credit to him. He did a lot. But if you look here, John Material is a great scrambling quarterback in this league. Only 23 rushing yards in that game against them. Again, the Oklahoma offense isn't necessarily great, but John Material is still a good scrambler, so not going to take credit away from him there or this Alabama defense. Also, another thing that really stood out to me was, Alabama played Georgia earlier in the season. All right, this was a home game for Georgia. Alabama went into Athens, Georgia, and beat the Georgia Bulldogs in a statement win. And in that game, Gunnar Stockton only went for 22 rushing yards. Now, Gunnar Stockton's going to look to get his chances to run every single game. It's going to happen, all right? But Alabama understands that. They know that he wants to run and scramble and get loose a little bit. But they were already prepared for it earlier in the season when they went on the road to Georgia and beat them. So only imagine how much better they're going to do in Tuscaloosa when Georgia has to come to them and try to make a statement win for this SEC championship game, all right? So I love Gunnar Stockton to go under this line, all right? As you can see here by this insight here, he's failed to go over this line 4 of his last 5 games. And in those last 5 games, he's only averaging 24.8 rushing yards per game. Now, he did go over last game against Georgia Tech, but obviously, look, they're ranked 94th in rushing yard defense. All right, Alabama's much better against the run, just much better defensively overall, and they know what Gunnar Stockton's looking to do. They know who Kirby Smart is and what he's trying to do with this Georgia team. All right, they have this covered. They understand it. They already have the formula to win against them, and it's stopping Gunnar Stockton from getting loose and making big plays outside of the pocket and extending plays. All right, so I love for this third play to go under 33.5 rushing yards for Gunnar Stockton. All right. Now, quick recap. Before we head on out of here, all right, Cardinal Tate over 69.5 receiving yards, Bo Jackson over 72.5 rushing yards, Gunnar Stockton under 33.5 rushing yards. So you only really got to tune into 2 games for these 3 picks. All right, we're looking for Ohio State to do really well against this Indiana team, and we're looking for Alabama to shut down Gunnar Stockton again against the run. All right, guys, I hope you like these 3 picks. I know there's not a lot of college football action going on, but those are my 3 picks for today, and I will see you tomorrow for NFL Sunday, man. And, man, this NFL season's been incredible, man, as is pretty much every year. We will have more NFL picks for you come Sunday.